A recipient of the Connecticut Governor's Scholarship that identified her as one of the top 18 students in the state of Connecticut, and a National Merit Finalist that identified her in the top 0.0001% of all graduates in the nation. It is my honor and privilege to present the valedictorian for the class of 2018. Interested in pursuing a career in medicine, she's a member of the National Honor Society and has been heavily involved in a wide array of clubs and activities while earning sterling grades in an extraordinarily demanding schedule that included 7 advanced placement courses. The valedictorian for the class of 2018, Ms. Lavanya Sambaraju.
Good morning, Dr. Cheeseman, Mr. Wilson, First Selectman Tesoro, Dr. Fitzgerald, Dr. Keene, Mrs. DeBono, Mr. Butler, Mr. Dempsey, Father Nowajowski, Mrs. Anderson, Mrs. Piatek, family, friends, and most importantly, members of the class of 2018. If there is anything I can take from my time at St. Joseph High School, besides learning Dr. Walsh's priceless AP biology knowledge and those various history punts from sophomore year A-Push with Dr. Valois, it is that people fear change. This isn't a new concept, as many prominent philosophers, thinkers, and leaders have reached the same general conclusion. Change comes in all shapes and forms, and today, for all of us, this change is coming as a transition from a high school senior to a college freshman. You might be wondering why I said people fear change, especially since most of us have been screaming college the moment we knew we were going, myself included. However, this change is the one that we've been expecting. I mean, as soon as we entered high school, it's always been about getting the best grades and joining multiple clubs and sports so our resumes and transcripts are filled. So, while this is a change, it's a gradual change that we all have been subconsciously preparing for and are now ready to undergo. While some of you may want to argue the opposite, saying that 4 years, or however many years you were here for, flew by in the blink of an eye, and that you simply cannot believe that you're going to college when you were literally freshmen yesterday, the truth is that time has passed like it normally would. We are leaving high school, and we are going to college. We have known this change was coming for a while, and now it is finally happening. While these types of gradual changes are important, I want to focus on those changes that we do not expect. The type of change that comes out of nowhere and feels like a slap to the face. The type of change that has the undeniable potential to seriously knock us off our feet. Those moments can come in the form of sudden realizations or physical occurrences. I'm certain that we've had many of them, and I can give you an example of one of mine. The moment it dawned upon me that I actually needed to write this speech. It happened earlier this week, and I honestly had the worst writer's block in the history of writer's blocks. Yes, I was aware I had to deliver an address, and for as long as I could remember, I had all of these ideas swirling around in my head, but when the time came to write it, I could not for the life of me figure out what exactly I wanted to say. I thought I had it all planned out, but I could not string together the right words to express how I wanted to conclude this graduation ceremony. I'm telling you this because the change known as life happened. One moment in time I had a clear plan for the speech, and the next thing you know, I'm staring at a blank screen, wondering where all of those ideas had disappeared to. I learned during this week that life does not work according to a plan or a list. Life is constantly changing, and it is constantly putting new obstacles in the path of some unfortunate person. It can affect large physical events or even our thoughts, like it did for me. I was able to overcome that sudden panic and pressure I felt, obviously, but there are going to be much tougher things in life that require more attention and effort to rise above. We are all going to have those difficult moments if we haven't had them already. Change is not always fun for us, but in the times when it can seem like the worst, I do believe that there is a way to overcome that type of panic, and it starts with the idea of complacency, or rather, the lack of it. I'm going to talk about our class for a moment. As a community, we have so many unique qualities. Collectively, like others have mentioned, we've broken records and set new standards of academia that the underclassmen must now struggle to follow. Particularly during these last couple of weeks of school, I've experienced a kindness that only comes with being part of a brilliant senior class. I know that individually we all have something unique to offer to both the world and our communities. We have gotten into wonderful universities, secured seats into exceptional programs, and achieved outstanding scholarships. I mean, over $25 million in scholarships and financial aid is no small feat. So I have no doubt that we have the potential to create a lasting impact on this world. However, there is this air of contentment, borderlining complacency, that I feel we as a class have been accumulating, especially since the second semester of our senior year. After the majority of college decisions were announced, the condition commonly known as senioritis afflicted many members of our class, myself included to a certain degree, and I observed so many people content with setting and achieving lower standards for themselves. We seem to think that because we are high school seniors who have been accepted into college, it is somehow okay to be content with what we already have obtained. And I'm here to tell you that it isn't, because once we get to that level of complacency, we start to feel comfortable. Almost too comfortable, because there is no change happening, and life as change waits for no one. We have to be constantly moving, constantly changing, constantly adapting, constantly seeking in order to deal with life. We cannot be too content with the way we are now when we have the potential to be better. Going back to the idea of overcoming the panic of sudden change, I believe that if we can harness life's surprises through our discontentment, we can make our lives our own. In other words, if we seek unexpected change, the change that inevitably follows will not bring us down. We cannot control how life will affect us, but we can control the impact it will have, and that is crucial to understand. Complacency is a tricky concept. In many ways, as a class and as individuals, we have both been proactive and complacent in regards to certain things in our own lives. I can give another solid example pertaining to me. My name. I remember clearly, it was one of the first days of freshman year and we were all in homeroom. The teacher was organizing us alphabetically, and when we reached my name on the list, first, that all too familiar pause that usually occurs when my name comes up on any list transformed into a seemingly insufferable silence that permeated throughout the room and suffocated me with embarrassment. Next, that all too familiar panic set in when the teacher asked if she pronounced it right, and I had one of two choices. I could either spend what seemed like forever teaching her how to pronounce my name correctly, or give her an easy nickname that took 2 seconds to master so we can all move on quickly and efficiently. Freshman year me chose the latter option by answering no. You can call me Lavi. See, that's my moment of complacency. For my entire life, I have always responded to a word that was supposed to be a substitute for my name, and here I had a brand new fresh start in which I could have settled my name once and for all, and I threw it away by taking the easy path. I thought it was better for me to make it easy for myself, and I was so wrong. And in case you guys were wondering, my name is pronounced Lavarnya Sambaraju, and I'm glad to have finally cleared that up. And I have changed since then, and obviously this mistake won't happen again in college. But I'm sure that we all have our things in life in which we choose to be complacent. Personally speaking, guys, it's not worth it. See, this idea of complacency applies to everything. As James was saying in his speech, at the end of our high school career, the only thing that we ultimately know is that we don't know anything. However, we cannot be content with that ignorance. We must use that awareness of our own ignorance to fuel our passion for seeking more knowledge. Many of you have committed to some sport in college, which I truly admire, by the way, but that comes with a rather massive responsibility. I'm not too educated about collegiate-level athletics, but I do know that in order to improve yourselves, you must never settle and give every game or meet your best effort. We are all branching off to various universities where we will meet new people and learn about things we have never learned before. We should not be satisfied with what we think we know now, when there is a whole future out there waiting for us. The same future that is filled with more uncertainties and certainties sets my heart racing and exhilarates me more than you can imagine. Yes, I do fear change, but I also want to actively embrace it in the form of my future. Our lives both suddenly and gradually changed when we chose to attend St. Joe's. We all grew from young, childlike freshmen to young, mature seniors. I would like to thank everyone who has been a part of that growing process for us, including our parents and our teachers. To all of my teachers as well as others, I thank you for helping me push my limits of both intellect and patience as I rushed to complete schoolwork I deliberately procrastinated. To all of my friends, I thank you for keeping me company throughout the good and bad times. I could not be more grateful for the education I've received here, and I hope I can speak on the behalf of the entire class when I say that. While I will never forget the memories shared here, it is now time for us all to move on to the next chapter of our lives. The following quote, which happens to be my senior quote, is from Margaret Mead, an American cultural anthropologist from the 1960s. I learned the value of hard work by working hard. We have worked hard over the years, class of 2018, but it does not and it cannot end here. Don't forget, we can't be complacent. Our respective colleges await us, and with hard work, I look forward to seeing what each and every one of you accomplish in the future. Thank you for your time.